All right, good afternoon, everyone. I want to welcome you to Talent is Not Enough. It's Wednesday, and it's been a rainy day. I'm sure we are keeping safe. This is the first time we'll be having this program right on the Talent is Not Enough platform. So I want to appreciate those who have joined us, and we look forward to others who will also join us. The last time we had a wonderful guest, Gerard Chukwuma, and I can still remember what he said. Loud and clear that. Oh, I can see. Welcome those who are joining us. Yeah, thank you for joining in. Our guest is going to join us shortly, and we'll just take off from there. So Gerard Chukwuma, remember telling us, I can see Mayor, welcome, that you should give it your best in whatever you do. That people buy you before they buy your product. So that means you must ensure excellence in whatever you do. So quickly, we're expecting our guest today to join us. Is a 2 times AMVCA award winner, and he's just doing great in that industry. So I will expect him to send me a request to join in shortly, and we'll just hit the ground running. So thank you once again for being there. I'm sure you'll be wondering I'm not at our usual venue today. I'm here because I've been in a meeting, and I just had to rush out of the meeting to get this done. All right. All right. Oh, great. All right. I'm sure we are keeping safe. In Lagos, the religious centers were looking forward to opening on 19th and 21st, but only yesterday the Lagos State government announced that has to be on hold, and I'm sure it's in our interest. So we just hope and pray that all will be well. So I'm expecting our guest to send me a request, Sambasa. Mind, Body, Artistry. Thank you for joining in. You're welcome to Talent is Not Enough on the platform of Talent is Not Enough. Thank you for following us. Thank you for joining in. Our guests will soon be here, and we'll just take off from here. Trust me, it's going to be an interesting time with our guest today. I met him as a student. I taught him, and the next time I saw him on a movie, a big movie, so to speak. And since then, he's been a star. So today is going to be sharing with us some of the virtues, some of the things he did, how he went about getting on that stage. Dexterimo Demola, hi. Uju, thanks for joining in. Thanks for coming through. In a jiffy, our guest is going to join us, and we'll just take it from here. So, and in this short while, yeah, he has won 2 AMVCA award, and that is big. So there must be something he's doing very well, or he's doing correctly, that is earning him these results, these accolades, these awards. And those are the things he's going to be sharing with us today. And I'm sure you'll glean something from there. Like the last guest, Gerard Chukuma, you know, he said he's been following this platform and he has learned a lot from here. Myself as the host, I've learned so much from, I think this should be the 16th guest we're bringing. Yeah, for the truth. For the truth, Sheil, thank you for joining in. I'm sure you are doing great. So in a jiffy, we're going to get started. I will just go straight to today's discourse. As I expect, our guest, Sambasa Nzeribe, one of the finest Nollywood stars. So Sam, just kindly send me a request so that you will get today's program started. I was just chatting with, I've been in a meeting with one of the cast at the wedding party, and he said, this guy is a great guy. So what makes him great, what makes him cool, and what makes him a sought after in that industry? He's going to be sharing some of those principles with us. And like we said, on this platform, what we do is to inspire creatives by bringing creatives as well in their field, in different captains of the industry, to share their experience so that we can leverage them and get better results. So it's not just a mere interview. So I'm expecting Sambasa to send me a request and we'll just get started. So once again, you're welcome to Talent is Not Enough. I'm sure he's getting set to join us here. And we'll just get started. I'm sure we are enjoying this music and we are blessed by it. As we await the arrival of our guests. Yeah, I think our guest is here. All right, Sam, send me a request to join me. And
yeah, that is a man. That is the man, Sambasa Nzeribe. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to welcome to Talent is Not Enough, one and only AMVCA award winner, ladies and gentlemen, Sambasa Nzeribe.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, great, great. How are you doing?
I'm fine. I'm fine.
Yeah, glad to have you. Thank you for coming on Talent is Not Enough. A lot of things are different with this edition. Number one, this is the first time we are running on this platform at the Talent is Not Enough account. Then two, this is the first time I'll be doing this in my car. I had to run out. So this is a special edition.
It's a special.
Yes, yes. So and I guess they are joining in. Thank you for coming through. Thank you
guys.
This invitation.
Let me greet my Sambasa soldiers. Sambasa soldiers, you.
Aha. Great. All right, the Sambasa soldiers are here. Thank you for joining in.
I see Miss Boo. I see Freeman. Thank you, guys. Doctor, thank you for having me. Talent is not enough. Thank you for this platform and this initiative. Thank you very much.
Let me use the earpiece.
All right.
Somebody tried to call me, then it disrupted the volume.
Okay.
All right, can you hear me now? Yeah, good. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, sir.
Oh, good. All right, shout out to all the Sambasa soldiers in the house. Thank you for joining in. You seem to have a lot of fans.
Well, I have the ones that care about me.
Great. All right, quick one. Now, what we are doing on this platform, we started since the lockdown, is to inspire others. As we speak now, some of the students, the University of Lagos Department of Creative Art, some of them who are sitting where you sat years ago, that same classroom, taking lectures from those same lecturers and some new ones are listening to you now. And everyone's bid is, to just hit the target, to be successful, to be prosperous. So that's why we created this platform. That being successful is not a function of luck. It's a function of principles that are observed, and it's a function of character. So I said, okay, how can we get these people on this track to stardom? So okay, let's be bringing those that have walked that same path and they have gotten results. Especially in this Nigeria, in this Lagos, where people think, because of bad government, bad leadership, you can't really succeed. But at the same time, we are seeing people who are also in this same Lagos, same industry, and they are getting results. There must be something they are doing well. There must be something they are doing rightly, and that is bringing them that result. So that is what we bring them here to share, to come and sell their stories, the challenges, and how they've been able to overcome those challenges, so that those that are coming behind will get better results. So I remember you vividly. I remember you vividly. With you get one trouser where you always wear.
Oh boy,
so your story for me is heavy. Your story for me is touching, is a bestseller. That if you can come from that background and emerge and succeed, it means that anybody who will follow the success principles and push through can succeed. Now, the first question I'm going to ask you, why art? Why theater? Why study theater? Why not, law, mass comm, pol science? what was your interest, and why did you settle for theater art in the first place?
Thank you again for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Growing up, I wanted to. In fact, growing up back then, the people that were successful were called businessmen.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I lost my father before I could say that I could spell my name, you know. So
wow.
and I saw the challenges that my late mom was going through.
Wow.
It was so my late mom had this brother that was a businessman, and he was doing quite well, you know. So I wanted to now become a businessman so that I can also take care of my mother and those around me, you know. So I wanted to be a businessman. Then I tried out playing football. I wanted to be a footballer.
Oh.
You know, so how did I choose art? Now your question was,
yeah.
After my late father died, so my mother took refuge in the church. So she had a lot of challenges, a lot of issues that she couldn't handle alone, you know. So she sought refuge and comfort in the church. So her job was being a primary school teacher. So being a primary school teacher, what she knew was how to teach kids and all that. So she went to church. St. Mary's Catholic Church is Solo. So she joined the charismatic group, Jesus Cares, aka Jesus Cares. So they now put her in children ministry to be in charge of children. So, and she liked to sing. She loved to sing. Right? So she was in charge of the choir, the children choir. And then from the choir, it now evolved to drama. You know, so all those while I'll be the one to I'll be the one to follow my mom into church. I'll be the one to sell stuffs that she was selling there. I remember one of our very close friends, you know, I was in the kitchen with my mom. But still I'm still struggling on knowing how to cook. Let's leave that aside. So so she said, the husband of your mother, you know. So it struck me like, oh, I'm close to her. You know, I really loved and still love my late mom. So
yeah, that's rest in peace.
Amen. Thank you very much. So I was really, it was fun for me going to church. So what attracted me, the very first day she took me to church, I've said this a couple of places, the very first day she took me to church, what attracted me to the gathering was, you know, you visualize the teacher in front, the sister or the brother teaching the kids, you know. At the end of the day, I was so young, you know, and when they finish, they will share Fanta and biscuits. So in my mind, I'm like, wow, this is a good gathering, you know, to be coming to this gathering today, you know. So it was really, so it got me stuck, and I kept on coming and coming and coming. At that early stage, so as young as I was then, you know, they will get to the point where they will have a children leader, you know. So I was like, I became the children leader of the children ministry group, you know. So after that,
so when they bring the biscuit, they just hand it over to you.
So yes, then I become in charge. I have to say, Chikodi, stay there. She'll stay. So After secondary school, I was so heartbroken. That's the word. My mother got sick. She died.
Oh, wow.
I had not gotten into the university then, you know. One of the reasons we stayed together, I and my siblings, was that my mother was refused. She was bent on all my children must go to higher institution.
Wow.
You know, she was like, all my children must go to higher institution. If anybody is coming to take my children away from me, which is painful to her, you know, there must be that condition that this person must go to higher. It's not secondary school, higher institution. You know, so she was very, very stubborn with that.
Wow.
She fell sick, she died, but the orientation she gave to us, there is one I don't forget ever, and that's what helps me today. There is one I don't forget. If others are not so clear, there is one. She says, if somebody wants to give you something, right, and the person rubs dirt on it, rubs feces on it, as in just messes it up, and you know you need this thing, what you should do is, no problem, collect it, clean it, and use it, and forge ahead. You know, so that has always been a guide for me, you know, everywhere I am. You know, if you want to treat me well, if you don't want to treat me well, I just have this belief that there is a creator above everyone, and life happens. As human beings, we bump into each other. Sometimes we have misunderstanding, but however, we need to try and manage it to get the best results. You know, so I'm always after doing my best to make sure that things are okay, you know, the best I can. So she already instilled that art in me, choir, drama. So when after she died, I joined. I had these friends before I joined the Catholic Youth Organization. The youth organization had, the Catholic Church has a youth organization called Sion, Catholic Youth Organization. So I had this group of friends, MHF. I believe if any MHF is online now, I believe we were far ahead of our time by the time we had that group. The meaning of MHF was Mad House Family. Mad. Okay. So we didn't do things the normal way people want to do them. We want to be extra. We want to be very creative, you know. So I now saw that a lot of my friends there were in the Catholic Youth Organization. So I now joined the Catholic Youth Organization. You know, things that we did in the church. We came to the church, we packed canopies, we packed chairs together, we cleaned the church together, and we get involved with drama and singing and anything that has to do with theater or being creative. So, my journey to Unilag, by now, both parents were gone. So, I would say I was living on the streets. Not like I'm living under the bridge, but it's like you wake up, young, growing child, and you're like, you know what are we going to do today? You know, you're not even brunch, you didn't do anything, you're out in the streets. You know, so you're looking for your friends, just idling about and all that. You know, it was really, really a trying time, really trying time. No means of income, trying to survive one way or the other. It was, believe me, it was crazy. It was tough. It was tough for us back there. And then, so that happened, and one day, St. Mary's Catholic Church in Solo has the main gate and the back gate. So as at this time, I had tried my first job out of secondary school was being a dry cleaner. Dry cleaner. I still remember the name. You know, you always remember your first. I still remember Jonas C. Dry Cleaners in Irakai Market in Solo. You know, I used to a very small room. You even get locked in the room with a heap of clothes. You know, like mountains of clothes, and then you wash. Then you come and iron and all that. So by then also I'm a game head. I like video games even till now, although I don't have so much time for it. So I worked as a video game attendant that you come to a shop and I'll be the one to attend to you. And then I also worked as I also owned my own eventually, you know, but I got swindled. I got duped. The shop I rented did not belong to the person that I paid to. You know, so when the owner of the shop came, everything ended. So my life, I just left everything. I just left everything. So I started wondering. I just lived every day as a thing. So one day I was passing through the community Catholic church. It had the front gate and the main gate and the back gate. So I was passing through and two women, they were close to the gate. I was looking all dirty. I was looking tattered. I was just looking anyhow. So they called me and they asked me, what are you doing with your life? What are you doing with your life? Like, what are you doing? I said, I was like, nothing, because I wasn't doing anything. I wasn't working there. I wasn't going to school or anything. So they saw that the answers were not coming. In fact, I was just uncomfortable with their questions. And they now said, would you like to go to school? I said, yes, I would like to go to school. You know, so those women were representatives of the Catholic Women Organization. Catholic Women Organization, the Catholic Church. So this is a women's society. So at that year, they had a scheme that they came up with called Orphan Scholarship Scheme. So their mission is to go be in the church and look for orphans that have nobody really guiding them and taking care of them. So and give them scholarship. They called it school fees and books scholarship. So they give you money for school fees and books and all that. So I did my best. When I tried to, at first I tried Lasso, you know, started something, it didn't work. I now tried Unilag. Before I came to creative arts, when I was filling that form, so English was on my mind, philosophy was on my mind. But what was on my mind, because that is the orientation my late mom gave me growing up. What I held dear in my heart was art. I love the art. I am passionate about the art. If we don't have to pay bills, and they say nobody is paying any bill in this world, just go and do what you like, I would still love to do the arts. I mean, being in class back then in creative arts, I always knew that if I finish in this creative arts, doing a theater major, and I don't get to practice, and maybe I go and look for, I now find myself in the oil sector. Yes, I might be making money, but I won't be happy. I mean, I'm that person that I understand that this world is a transition. I want my casket, when it's time, when God calls, I want to have a smile while I'm in it, you know, that I did my best and I gave my all, you know. So I saw the form. I was like, ah, man. As I did, hey, I say, man, hey, people go they go for this art. So people go they go for this art. And now Unilag, hey, let me just put philosophy or English. People won't go there the way they will be going to this art. Art now, people don't they go there. I don't know what happened. I can't remember what happened. How I eventually filled that creative art.
It's God. It's God.
Hey, doctor, I read. I read. Hey, I read like I've never read before.
Wow.
So what happened was that I got my post-jam. So CW already paid, helped me out with school fees, buying the form, writing the exam. I also got help. There's this NGO in Isolo. It's called Community Life Project. The initiator, the person that had that initiative was is Mrs. Ngozi Ngwere. I remember one day, God bless that woman. I remember one day, I don't know whether she has been waiting for me. I was struggling with school fees. I think that time I had issues, trying with my program in LASU that was brief. I went to meet her. On the staircase, I told her, I explained to her that I have issues with school fees and all this. On the staircase, no office, no meeting, no car, nowhere. It was on the staircase to the parish office, the office that led to the office of the priest. She listened to me. I talked. I said my heart out. And eventually she called me later and she gave me money for school fees. And I went and I paid and all that. So I had all this support, like for years after my mom died. It was terrible. So one particular year, one particular period, I had this support. And with the orientation my mom gave me, I had to put it to good use. I just had to put it to good use. So I filled the form, creative arts. So my jam, I got to something and it wasn't so high. And CW, the Catholic Women Organization, they would always assign a mother to you, to a guardian. So my own guardian, my own mother is Dr. Ugo. She's an associate professor in University of Lagos. Pharmacy. So she's into the academics. She's somebody that will take my results, whatever results I have, and go to the Catholic Women Organization and be bragging that see my son's results. I will just be like, oh. So I cannot bring anything bad. Like I need to work hard. So my jam wasn't too spectacular. So when I came, and she knowing how hard it is to enter Unilag, she was like, look at your jam. What's this? Do you see what other people are getting and all that?
I can imagine.
Post jam. So after that incident, it was time for post jam. I read. I did overnight. The jam past questions, everything. I wrote it out. In fact, I ate the book. So it now came to time for the merit list to come out. Oh, Father Lord, thank you. Thank you, God. When the merit list came out, I was number 3 on the list.
Wow.
I didn't know anybody. I didn't do any other thing than read. Nothing. Number 3 on the list. And I came into that department and I said, you know what? I am here to succeed. I am here. That is my purpose, to succeed. So that is how I got into the art. So I got into the art through the influence of my late mother, introducing me to music, introducing me to art. And through the support of those around me, during my journey, I found myself in the University of Lagos Creative Arts Department, which was my dream course, and I did not take it for granted.
Fantastic, fantastic. I'm sure the conclusion of your journey is that God has been with you, and I'm sure you will realize that. And I'm sure going forward too, and our listeners also can take from this story. At times, some people will think if you don't know anybody, you can't get anywhere. Yes, you need networking. But at times, God, I know that those two women were angels.
Yes.
That God sent to ask you the right questions. They didn't ask you if you were hungry to give you money for food.
No.
They ask you, the question they ask you is why we're having this discussion today. And it's just God's grace, and we give him all the glory. Now, a very touching story. We'll just take it further from here. The first time I saw you, and I saw you by God's grace now, it was a big platform, a wedding party. How did that happen?
Oh, wedding party, the character look man. Okay. Wedding
auditions, and how the journey started. How you got to that platform. Yeah.
Okay. This is how the journey started. I was in the creative arts department, right? I think I was in my second or third year. So in the class, the lecturer will spot those that can handle, group of people that can lead. So I was, apart from doing theater major, I was also doing directing, so the lecturers were grooming me in directing too. So I was directing, I think the freshers, the year ones on a play. So a filmmaker came to school. His name is Eric Ahimian. So he had done an auditioning before in Ketu, Shangisha, Magodo axis. But what he was looking for, he has not seen it. So he now decided, because he had done a short film before titled Hector, and now he wanted to do a movie. So his journey has been trying to get into film. So he has acquired to an extent that he feels that he can express himself, but he doesn't have, he has the means to shoot and make it a good movie. But as at that time, it's like he doesn't have the money to pay the actors. But so he would want to use people that are like in the university, that they are not really after money because they are not paying so much bills and all that. So Eric had he works in Redeemed Christian Church that time, the cameraman. So he gathered his brothers, his friends, and to be his film crew. And he came to University of Lagos. So he wanted to use our theater hall, our theater space. And then he came to seek permission from the student president, Ife, that year. So he had taken the permission from Ife, and he came down. So he saw me rehearsing with the year ones, and he came and asked me. I was putting on one cross like this, So he came and asked me and said, "Will I be interested in an audition?" So me, when I'm working, I'm usually very serious. I don't like distraction. So I say yes. Okay, to be on so day. I say yes. Okay, yes. So I was just answering yes. When he left, I totally forgot. About the audition. As God will have it, the day he was going to do his audition, I was rehearsing with the year ones in the hall that he wanted to use. So he came there, and the way students are, you will have to wait for the students to use their thing first before you come and use it. So he waited. Some people that came for the audition, they were already coming. So they decided to use one of the classroom instead of the theater hall. So we stayed for a while. By the time we finished, so I remember as I was leaving the hall. So I was happy that I met them. So as I was leaving my own rehearsal with the year ones, I told one of the freshers, his name is Toba. I told him that, let me go and see if I will see somebody to invest in my life. I didn't know the word like career then. I didn't know how to how to use it. I just said, let me go and see who will invest in my life. So I now went there. I met Eric. I met, that was the first day I saw Tope Tedela. I saw Eric. Once I saw Kiki O'Malley. A couple of people that have been, doing stuff. So I did the audition and all that, and I was called back.
Wow.
The very first movie I did, I rehearsed my script, everything. A Mile from Home, it was critically acclaimed. Anybody that has watched A Mile from Home. Tope Tedela won his AMVCA from A Mile from Home. Eric won, I didn't win any award there, but, there was so many commendations about the work. So, after that, I did Ojuju by CJ and Oge Obasi. After that, I did Soldier Story that won me my very, very, very first industry award, supporting actor. A Soldier Story by Martin Bados and Frankie Oga. I don't forget all these people. So one day, I was at home and Don Omokwe, God bless you, Don, and Don Omokwe called me. He called me on the day of the audition for that wedding party. He called me on the day of the audition. And he said, the audition is in Oshodi. Can I come to Oshodi like now? Hey, I said like now. He said there are other batches, but he would prefer that I come to Oshodi now. I said, what's going on? I just So I now went there, went to Oshodi. That was the first day I saw Kemi Adetiba, I'm not sure I saw more Abudu that day, So I went there and my audition was good. It was good. And they called me back. Doctor, when I got on set and I saw the light of Ali Baba, R&B, hey, my God, people.
Amazing. Amazing.
The way the story now, the plot of the story, I was now going to hold hostage Ali Baba, Shola Shubowale, R&D, Banky, and
the stars of the Nollywood. Yeah.
Oh my God. Inside me, it wasn't easy at all. I was just like, but I received support from the director, from my co-actors, and then where I'm coming from, the history of where I'm coming from. I should not fail. I should not fail the people that that believe in me. So I have to give it my all. So I went there, and the director, Kemi, told me about her vision, and I keyed into her vision. At first I was struggling a bit, but I now keyed into it. And when I keyed into it, it was magic. It was magic till this day. Like, people can't forget the character. They can't seem to forget the character. They don't even know the character's name. They just say, "You're that thief. You're that thief." Everywhere I go. And I had been doing other roles. I've been doing other things before that, So anywhere I go, any state I go, even travel out of the country, they're like, wedding party, you know, especially because it was blown out far and wide. And yes, it was an amazing experience. It wasn't easy, and I thank God that I was called back, and I thank God that it had a memorable performance even till today, even till tomorrow, and I'm grateful. I'm grateful to Moabudu for that opportunity.
Amazing, great. You know, I told you before we came on board, I've been in a meeting. I'm still going back to that meeting now. You know, we start with observing social distance, but the next person to me is Ali Baba. So I stretched my phone and I showed him the poster for this program. I said, Baba, you know this guy? Only wow, cool guy. I said, okay. I said, when I see you, I will ask you what makes you cool. Now, as we wrap up, now, what are the principles you want to give to the up and coming? What are the ideas? What are the words of encouragement? Principles you know that have worked for you? Because I know it's by God's grace, you arrive at stardom quickly. You know, you just enjoy this divine speed. And from your story, it's obvious that, you know, God has been helping you thus far. But God is helping you. There must be some character traits. So what are the principles? What are the things you want to advise the people in year 2, year 3, the final year students, and the creatives generally, and even those who are in other fields? What are those factors that sponsor success?
Okay. First, I will have to say, I can't do without mentioning it. God.
Yeah.
God has saved me a lot of times. God has rescued my life a lot of times. God has guided me and is still guiding me. You know, so I have, growing up and experiencing the kind of pain that I experienced, I came to the realization that the transition out of this world is something that one must always think about, especially that man has not been able to stop yourself from leaving this world. You know, so whatever you call it, whatever religion, whatever belief, there is a higher being, there is a creator above everyone.
Sure.
You know, so
definitely.
I put my trust. I remember after my father died, he used to be a banker in UBA.
Oh,
so
wow.
back then, so after he died, we had this charismatic group coming to pray in the house with my mom because she was so heartbroken. You know, she always needed people around her so that her mind would stay right.
Yeah.
You know, so I remember one passage that they were reading. You know, I can't quote it the way it is, but I know that I like those Good News Bible that had some drawings. You know, you know. So he said there is this tree planted by the waterside.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that woe unto the man that puts his trust on man than on God. You know.
Yeah.
So ever since, I really don't. For me, I don't expect much from man. I look to God first. So my advice would be to look to God first before thinking that somebody would be of help or you guys can do something together that would flourish, you know. I put this is me, this is Sambasa, and I'm saying it. I put everything about me, I put it in God's hands, because I believe He created me and He knows me than I know myself. And I love Him because of who He is and what He represents. You know, so my journey
is the surest place, yeah.
Amen, hallelujah. You know, so my journey has been that God take control. God take control. I saw one of my colleagues in the industry, you know, today, his wife celebrating 10 years. For 10 years, she did not have a child. At the 10th year, now she's having a child.
Wow, hallelujah. Wow. Glory.
For a whole decade after being married, they must have gone through a lot, but God did it.
A lot.
There's nothing God cannot do. So, number one, God. Then, number two.
Are you sure you are not going to start a ministry very soon, the way you are talking about God? Are you sure after this, they lift the ban, you are not going to start your ministry? But that is great. God will ever happen except God allows it to happen. And I'm glad you acknowledge that. And you know that you owe everything to God's grace in your journey.
Yes. To God be the glory, always and forever. You know. So the second thing is I practice a lot. They say practice make perfect. Before I come to the screen, I do my assignment, I do my homework, I do the training behind. I remember my first role as Soko in A Mile From Home. When I had the script, I had this friend, you know, that would come from another hostel to my own hostel. So I would, because I'm going through a transition from stage to film, and I didn't want it to take it that long before I could adjust. So I would sit in front of a mirror and make sure that this is one of the tricks. I will sit in front of a mirror and make sure that it's a small mirror, and this mirror is only on my eyes, because I can be very, very shy. I can be very, very shy. You know, very, very shy when the cameras are not on. In fact, I don't talk. You would mistake it for being pompous or something, but I don't talk. I'm very, very shy. I don't like to inconvenience people. I like to stay by myself. You know, so to make sure that doesn't come across on the screen, I just put a small mirror and make sure that it's only showing my eyes, and my lines, I always read my lines. I would finish the whole script like that day. Come in the evening, my friend will read the other characters' line, and I'll read mine. So the practice was looking into the eyes. So I trained myself to look into your eyes and give my lines and act. You know, so God, we have our practice, training, you know, then hard work. I don't know, me, I like to work hard and work smart. You know, it is something that growing up, let me not say 20 so that it doesn't sound like an exaggeration. My late mom sold about 15 different things. When 50 Cent said his name, his album, Get Rich or Die Trying.
Die Trying, yeah.
Yeah. My late mom, her vision, her goal was just to make sure that her children survive. You know, she sold palm oil. She had a restaurant where she sold food. She sold akara. She sold church religious books. She sold soap and sweets. I carried fufu in Isolo. I carried fufu on my head. I I carry fufu to go and sell and make sure that I don't come back with any remaining ones so that my mother will be happy. When I come back with an empty tray, the smile on my mother's face gives me joy. You know, so one thing that I see in women, and is a soft spot, is for me, if you are very productive and very industrious, it reminds me of somebody very important that was in my life. You know, so God training, hard work, smart work, you know, and make sure that you always evolve. Evolution. Like, this is the internet age now. Coming back before it became like this, things were not done like this. So always find a way to evolve. I don't believe when people come, we're human beings, it gets to us. I don't believe when people come and say, you can't do this. Can't is just too big a word to use and say a human being can't do this. I might not be able to do it as A or B, but I definitely can try to do something, you know, close to it. You know, so God, train yourself, rehearse, work smart, work hard, and make sure that you always evolve. Human beings, we are small gods, so we can always evolve and express ourselves in different dimensions and variations. So don't put yourself down. I know that the world can get depressing, and you know how far others have gone. Look at where you are, but it gets to everybody. I'm human too, but don't give in. Don't give in. Don't give in to failure. Don't give in to quitting. Don't give in to giving up. Thank you very much.
All right, Sambasa, this is how we have just 2 or 3 minutes to go. Your story is so touching, and somebody somewhere who has something, who is going through something similar, this will encourage that person to say, no, if this guy can succeed in whatever he's doing, then I have no excuse. Almost everything were working against you. Your dad, I'm sure things were rosy. Say your dad was in UBA.
Things were, doctor, things like, I was Botio. So my late dad will not, this is the difference between my dad and my mom. My late dad will not buy one thing for us to share. My late dad will buy like one for you, one for you, one for you. So let me give example of toothpaste. Okay, this is your own toothpaste, this is your own toothpaste, this is your own toothpaste. After he has brought it and given to each of us, he has done his own. My mom will now call all of us and collect the toothpaste. Then she will bring out one toothpaste and say, use this toothpaste. When this one finishes, you come and collect this one. So she was teaching us to be united, share, and love. So from the father's side, he's providing for his children. I'll provide for you. From the mother's side, I want you, even when you are being provided, things have been provided for you, make sure that you use it in love and in unity. You know, so before I be bought you, I remember, doctor, I remember when